Hi, and welcome to Unity 5 Fundamentals, What Game Engines Can Do. In this section, we're going to take a look at an introduction to game engines, a survey of currently available game engines, and defend our decision to use Unity 5 instead of other available game engines. By the end of this lesson, you will have a good understanding of why Unity 5 is the game engine of choice. You will also know what the engine's capabilities are and what it can be used for. Okay, let's get started with an introduction to game engines. We can define the term game engine as computer software used to create and develop computer games. That definition seems pretty basic and maybe does not do justice to the incredibly capable game engines. That being said, a game engine is indeed a piece of software, or more likely, a software suite that can be used to create and develop software to include computer games. What types of software can game engines be used to create? The real answer is almost anything you can think of. Many game engines have 2D and 3D capabilities. They can be used to create prototypes, simulations, CGI, cutscenes, shorts, movies, and games. Some game engines even support augmented and virtual reality application development. Depending on the game engine, software created by game engines can run from within a browser, on a Mac or Windows desktop, mobile devices, and game consoles such as Xbox, PlayStation, and the Wii. As we've said, a game engine is a suite of software tools. To create your game, you will assemble art and audio assets, animations, and source code. You will also establish connections with external services as appropriate for your game. You will also tell the game engine what to do when it receives user input. At a high level, all this is churned by the game engine's compiler to create your game in the format required for the device you are developing it for. The output is different, for example, if you're going to develop your game on a game console as opposed to a handheld smartphone. So just what can a game engine do? There are three key things we should consider. First, game engines have a lot of predefined functionality. Complex concepts such as gravity, lighting, physics, terrain creation, artificial intelligence, rendering, networking, and collisions are just a few examples of things we do not have to program from scratch when we use game engines. Instead of programming thousands of lines of code to incorporate physics, we might simply enable physics with a checkbox and assign specific properties to our objects. Long gone are the days of having to painstakingly create terrain from scratch. Now, we can use game engine terrain editors to auto-generate expansive terrains at the click of a button. Game developers leverage game engine capabilities to capitalize on their time. Instead of working on difficult calculus, for example, they can focus on gameplay. Game engines do another important thing, and that is to open the door to the game industry to independent developers and small game studios. Prior to the availability of game engines, large game studios had the lion's share of computer game production. Now, almost anyone can create a game. Now, let's look at a few of the most important prominent game engines. There are an increasing number of 2D game engines available that allow users to create and publish games to the web, desktop, and mobile devices. These engines are impressive, but limited compared to the full-featured game engines that are in the same category as Unity. Let's look at a few 3D game engines. They are listed here in alphabetical order so that a ranking is not implied. Aws Lumberyard is the most recent game engine to become available. It is offered by Amazon as part of the Amazon Web Services, or AWS suite of digital services. The engine is a rebranding of the Cryengine and incorporates some impressive integrations such as Twitch and AWS. The Cryengine is a very powerful game engine. It was created by Crytek and has been used to create blockbuster games such as Far Cry and the Crysis game series. Frostbite is a sophisticated game engine by EA Dice that was used to create the Battlefield series. ID Tech by ID Software is listed here because it is commonly referred to as one of the oldest game engines still in use. The Castle Wolfenstein and Doom games were created using that engine. Unity 3D is produced by Unity Technologies and is a highly popular game engine that can be used to create 2D and 3D games. It is a longtime favorite for independent developers and small game studios. Like many large game studios, Epic Games created their own game engine to help them make their games. The Unreal game engine, created by Epic Games, is a AAA game engine that has been used to create Mass Effect, Gears of War, and the Unreal Tournament game series. Here's an overview of the top 5 engines. Aws Lumberyard is the newest game engine to be released. Although currently in beta, it is provided royalty-free and without a paid subscription. You only pay for Amazon Web Services that your game uses, such as cloud storage and processing. The Lumberyard, Cryengine, and Frostbite game engines are extremely difficult to use, but completely capable of creating stunning AAA games. Unity 3D and Unreal are game engines more appropriate for beginners. They are quite complex and are a bit easier to learn. Now, let's look at why Unity is our game engine of choice. Unity is available for download and installation on both PC and Mac computers. While nearly all game engines are available for the PC, few support Mac computers. When it comes to programming languages, you can use JavaScript, C#, and Boo. In fact, you can use any combination of them. Several other game engines have visual scripting, which can limit a game's functionality. Unity supports a large number of distribution platforms, so your users can potentially play your Unity games on PC, Macs, Linux, the web, consoles, and mobile devices. This is a robust list. Because Unity has been available since 2004, there are great documentation, tutorials, and user content. Nearly everything you can think to accomplish in Unity has been written about or has had a video recorded. This can significantly speed up the learning process. The Unity developer community is very supportive and is quick to lend help to those that seek it. Unity offers a variety of free and for-pay assets, such as playable characters, animations, and 3D objects that you can use in your Unity games. Furthermore, there's a large community of content creators that offer their assets in the Unity Asset Marketplace. Lastly, the price is right. There are several pricing models, including a free one. That is difficult to beat. That concludes this section. Next up, downloading and installing Unity.